Hey everybody, this is Dr. Kevin Mao, physical therapist and owner of Balance and Body Restoration Physical Therapy Massage. We are a physical therapy massage clinic located in the East Bay of California in a town called Dublin. And today with me, I have my wife, Twee, who is also our deep tissue and massage therapy specialist, and she's going to be helping us demonstrate some of the exercises that we want to go over today. So in today's video, our goal is to show you how to do one of the most popular, yet also misunderstood physical therapy exercises for lower back pain known as the bird dog. Now, for a lot of patients who are struggling with lower back pain, one of the most common pieces of advice that they're given is they need to strengthen their back, they need to strengthen their core, and this bird dog is one of the best exercises to do so because it's very safe to do, it's very easy to do, and when done correctly, it can really yield a tremendous amount of results. However, for a lot of patients that I see in the clinic, when they've said that they've tried this exercise, when they've done this exercise in the past, a couple things have happened. One, they just didn't really feel that it was helpful. They didn't really feel the benefit of it. They didn't really feel it helping them much. Or two, that in some cases they actually felt that the exercise was making them worse. But however, I want to show you today how to do the exercise with what I believe is the best proper form and technique, just to give you the best possible shot of getting the most out of the exercise, so that helps you become stronger, it helps you become more mobile, and just more secure and confident within your body. So in the video, I'm going to show you how to avoid some of the most common mistakes that I see when people make while doing the exercise, and then again to show you what I believe is the most proper and correct way to actually do it. So let's get right on to the video. Okay, so the bird dog again is a very good beginner exercise to help you build back strength and core strength. And it looks something like this, where the patient is going to lift one arm and the opposite leg. So go ahead and demonstrate. And it looks something like this, where the back should stay straight, the core should stay tight, and everything should just kind of flow nice and easy like so. However, when I see patients do this exercise, we tend to see quite a few common mistakes that I just want to point out to make sure that you're just paying attention to the right things when you're doing this exercise. So the first common mistake that I see people make when they're doing this is that they're not paying attention to their spine at all. So, and what tends to happen is when they start to lift their arm, when they start to lift their leg, their back starts to arch. So go and show that for me for the video. So again, this is probably the most common mistake that I see people make, is that they're not really paying attention to what's happening at their back, and they're allowing their back to start to arch. So bring it back down and do it with the other side. And what this means when people are doing this is that they're not really concentrating or focusing on contracting or activating the muscles of their core. And they're also inviting a lot of unnecessary stress and strain to develop in their lower back. Okay, so bring it back down. So one of the things that we want to make sure that you do is to try to make sure that you keep your core tight and you try to keep your back as straight as possible. The second mistake that I see people make when they do this is they just simply go too fast, or they go too quickly without really paying attention to what's going on within the muscles of their core, of their back. So go ahead and just do it a couple times. So again, when this happens, again, very common mistake that I see people make when they do this is that they're just not paying close attention to what their back is doing. They're not paying attention to what their body is doing. Instead, they're just going after a specific number of sets and repetitions without really paying close attention to what their bodies are actually doing, okay? And I would say that the last mistake that we see people make when they do this is that they're not paying attention to the level or the angle of their hip. So go ahead and do that one more time and just show with the hips out. So again, a lot of people face a lot of hip tightness. They don't have a really good awareness between the relationship of their back, their core, and their hips. So we see a lot of just imbalances and asymmetries in the muscles through their hip here. So again, if you find yourself doing this exercise and you're not getting a lot out of it, make sure that you're not making some of these three common mistakes. So next, I just want to show you a couple of tips to really make sure that you're getting the most out of this exercise. So again, make sure that you are doing the best you can to increase your strength, increase your stability, and just improve the overall health of your spine. So let's get right into the instruction. Okay, so to ensure that you do this exercise as correctly and as well as possible, let's go over a few very important tips. The first thing we want you to make sure that you do is that you go very slowly. We don't have to rush when we're doing this exercise. We're not in a rush, we're not in a race. And the slower you go, the more sensation, the more feedback, and more feeling you're going to get from your body, which is going to start to stimulate your brain just so that you start to become more aware of your movement within your body, within your spine. The second thing I want you to focus on is to make sure that you're limiting any movement occurring through your lower back. If you start to feel your back moving, if you start to feel your back arching, if you start to feel your back twisting, just slow it down and try to, again, just focus on limiting any movement through your back and through your body through here. And the last point of advice is, again, to make sure that you try to keep your hips level. If you start to feel your hips shifting, you start to feel your hips rotating, that's one of the cues that you're just trying a little bit too hard, you're trying to go a little too far. So I'd rather you not lift your arm or your leg as high if you start to feel your body twisting or rotating. Try to just go as slowly as you can and trying to just, again, focus on limiting any movement occurring through your back and through your hips, like so. So go ahead and demonstrate a couple times. So again, this is going to look a little different from the mistakes video that we showed you, because again, she's really focusing on limiting any movement through her back. Her hips are staying quite level, and when she brings her arm and leg back down, just bring the arm and leg back down very, very slowly, almost like you're pulling everything back to the center. Okay, and let's show it on the other side. So left arm and right leg. Again, it doesn't matter how high the leg and the arm goes. What matters is that you're just keeping everything level, everything stable. And again, just going as slowly as you can, as slowly as possible. Go ahead and pull everything back in. And let's just show it one more time on each side. Now, if you start to feel a lot of pressure in your wrist, or if you start to feel a lot of pressure in your hand, one of the things you can do is just to try to grip and claw your fingertips into the mat, which is going to just bring a little bit more activation to the muscle of your wrist and just bring a little bit more support. And nice and slow on the way back down. Looks good. And what you can see here, if you can't see in the video, we can start to see her core muscles, her back muscles, everything visibly shaking and quivering. Right? That means that she's getting a lot of engagement, she's getting a lot of activation, and she's getting a lot of usage in all of the muscles around her core and around her torso. Okay, so that's it for the Bordeaux exercise. So again, hopefully that you're not able to make some of the most common mistakes that we see people make, and that again, when you do it the way that I think is the best way to do it, I promise you will feel a lot more stimulation, a lot more activation, and a lot more of a strengthening effect occurring through your back and through your core, with the hopes that it helps you reduce back pain, reduce back stiffness, and just overall have a healthier spine. So that's it for today's video, and we hope to see you again next time. Take care.